In one corner, a soft-spoken man who made history by becoming America's first black president. In the other, a loud businessman who promised to break every rule in the book. Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Two men, two voices, two different Americas. But what made their words so powerful? And why did the world listen so closely? In this video, you'll follow their journeys, not just to understand their rivalry, but to learn real English used in speeches, debates, and global news. You'll discover how to use contrast words like however, while, and on the other hand. You'll learn how to express opinions, describe leadership, and understand the language of power. Watch till the end, because by the time you finish, you won't just know their story. You'll speak English with more confidence than ever before. Chapter 1. The Rise of Two Men. Barack Obama was born in Hawaii in 1961. Far from the usual centers of American power. His mother was a white woman from Kansas, and his father was a black man from Kenya. From a young age, Barack learned to live between two different worlds, black and white, American and African, poor and educated. He was often quiet, thoughtful, and curious. He read books, asked questions, and dreamed big. His early life was not easy, but it gave him a strong understanding of people who felt like outsiders. He studied hard and won a place at Harvard Law School, where he became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. That moment was not just an academic win. It was a sign that he was about to change history. Donald Trump was born in 1946 in New York City, into a world of wealth and business. His father, Fred Trump, was already a successful real estate developer. From the beginning, Donald was surrounded by big buildings, big money, and big dreams. Unlike Obama, Trump never had to struggle for food or money. But he did face pressure to be the best. His father pushed him to be tough, never weak, and always a winner. Trump attended a military academy during high school and later studied business at the Wharton School. While Obama's strength came from books and quiet leadership, Trump's power came from bold moves and business deals. He wanted to be famous, and he knew how to make people notice him. As young men, both had big dreams, but they walked on very different roads. Obama chose a path of public service. He became a community organizer in poor neighborhoods, helping people find jobs and hope. He believed in listening before speaking, in building trust step by step. Trump, on the other hand, built towers with his name on them and appeared in magazines long before entering politics. He started branding himself as the symbol of success. One became a quiet leader in small rooms. The other became a loud name in big lights. They were not just different men. They were shaped by completely opposite worlds. And yet, both men would rise to the same job, the most powerful position on earth, President of the United States. Their early lives, beliefs, and personal styles could not have been more different. But perhaps that's why the world paid so much attention when their paths crossed. The rise of Barack Obama and Donald Trump is more than a political story. It is the story of two Americas, one looking for hope and unity, the other demanding strength and change. And from the very beginning, Their stories were heading toward a dramatic clash. Chapter 2: The First Black President versus the Billionaire Outsider. When Barack Obama ran for president in 2008, many people said he had no chance. He was young, had only served a short time in the U.S. Senate, and he was black in a country with a long history of racial division. But he had something powerful, a message of hope. Obama spoke calmly and clearly. He didn't shout. He didn't blame others. He told Americans that they could come together and change the future. His famous slogan, "Yes, we can," became a symbol of unity, especially for young people, minorities, and those who had felt ignored. His speeches touched hearts. He didn't promise to fight. He promised to heal. And in 2008, he became the first black president in U.S. history. The world celebrated. Tears fell in crowds. It felt like a turning point for the country. Donald Trump entered politics in a completely different way. When he announced his run for president in 2015, many people laughed. He had never served in government, had no military background, and was known mostly for being rich and famous. But Trump didn't need experience. He had attention. From the moment he stood in Trump Tower and said he would make America great again, the media couldn't stop watching him. He spoke without filters. He used simple, strong words. He said things other politicians were afraid to say. He attacked the media, mocked opponents, and promised to build walls, cut deals, and win. Some were shocked. Some were thrilled. He called himself the voice of the forgotten people. While Obama won with hope, Trump won with anger. Their campaigns showed how divided America had become. Obama's rallies were filled with messages of unity, diversity, and progress. People carried signs of peace and change. His supporters believed in working together. Trump's rallies were loud, fiery, and filled with chants like, "Build the wall," and "Lock her up." His fans believed the system was broken and needed a fighter. Where Obama tried to calm the storm, Trump became the storm. Obama smiled and inspired. Trump pointed and challenged. These were not just two candidates. They were two symbols of how Americans saw the world. When Trump won the 2016 election, many saw it as a complete reversal of Obama's legacy. It wasn't just a political shift. It was emotional. Some people cheered, saying Trump spoke for the real America. Others cried, feeling everything Obama stood for had been rejected. It was not just one man replacing another. It was one vision replacing another. A message of hope was answered with a demand for power. And just like that, the world moved from calm speeches to fiery tweets. The outsider had defeated the first black president's chosen successor, and the two worlds were no longer side by side. They were face to face. Chapter 3: Speaking to the Nation. Calm versus loud. Barack Obama was known for his calm and thoughtful speeches. When he spoke, he often paused, looked around, and chose his words carefully. His voice was steady, his tone was respectful, and his words often carried emotion without anger. Whether he was speaking to a school, a large crowd, or the entire world, he made people feel heard and respected. He often used phrases like, "Let me be clear," or "We can do this together." Obama's speeches were full of stories, hope, and unity. Even when talking about difficult topics like war or racism, he used peaceful language. He wanted to bring people closer, not push them apart. His way of speaking became one of his strongest tools as a leader. Donald Trump's style was the complete opposite. He spoke fast, loud, and without much filter. He didn't care about carefully chosen words. He often used short, powerful sentences like, "It's a disaster," "We're gonna win," or "fake news." His speeches were like conversations with his supporters, direct, personal, and full of energy. He repeated words again and again to make sure people remembered them. He would point his finger, raise his voice, and even call people names during his speeches. While Obama spoke to inspire, Trump spoke to excite. He didn't try to sound like a professor. He wanted to sound like a fighter. And for many people who felt ignored, his loud voice finally made them feel seen. Their different speaking styles also showed how they saw the people they led. Obama treated the crowd like a team. He believed that careful language showed respect and control. He trusted that people would listen if he explained things clearly. Trump treated the crowd like a rally. He believed that strong words showed power and confidence. He didn't try to sound correct. He tried to sound bold. While Obama used long, emotional stories, Trump used jokes, attacks, and big promises. One was a speaker of peace, the other a speaker of action. And both styles had deep effects on their followers and their enemies. The world noticed this difference. Obama was often praised by leaders, educators, and even foreign countries for his speeches. His words were played again and again on news channels and in classrooms. Trump's words, on the other hand, often made headlines for being shocking or offensive. Some laughed, others felt insulted. But his supporters loved it. They said he was saying what everyone else is afraid to say. Whether you liked him or not, Trump made sure you heard him. And in a world full of noise, being heard was his goal. These two men did not just lead in different ways. They spoke in different languages. One reached the mind, the other the gut. And between them stood a nation still trying to decide which voice it trusted more. Chapter 4: Policies and Promises. When Barack Obama became president, his first promise was clear: to bring hope and change. The country was facing a deep economic crisis, and many people had lost jobs, homes, and savings. Obama worked to pass laws that would help the middle and lower classes. One of his biggest achievements was the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare. It helped millions of Americans get health insurance, especially those who couldn't afford it before. He also pushed for clean energy, equal rights, and stronger ties with other countries. His promises were about lifting people up, creating opportunity, and solving problems through calm discussion. He believed that slow but smart decisions could build a better future. Donald Trump's promises were bold, direct, and full of emotion. When he ran for office, he told the people he would make America great again. His plans were built around strength, protection, and winning. He promised to build a wall on the border with Mexico, ban people from certain countries, and bring jobs back from overseas. Trump believed in cutting taxes, reducing rules for businesses, and putting America first in every deal. Unlike Obama, he didn't talk much about climate change or health care for all. Instead, he focused on trade, borders, and law and order. His style was not about quiet progress. It was about fast action and big results. The two presidents had very different views on immigration. Obama believed in giving chances to immigrants who followed the rules. He supported a program called DACA, which protected young people who were brought to the U.S. as children. He called them dreamers. Trump took a harder approach. He wanted stricter laws, stronger borders, and often spoke of immigrants as a danger. He tried to end DACA and reduce the number of people entering the country. To his supporters, this showed strength and control. To his critics, it showed fear and division. Where Obama saw immigration as a human issue, Trump saw it as a national threat. Their promises shaped two very different Americas. Obama's world was about global cooperation, human rights, and careful steps forward. Trump's world was about national pride, fast changes, and being tough on enemies. One spoke the language of unity, the other the language of power. Both made promises that touched millions of lives, and both faced praise and criticism for the choices they made. But in the end, their policies were not just political ideas. They were reflections of their hearts, beliefs, and the kind of country they each wanted to build. These promises, spoken from the highest office, still echo in America today. Chapter 5. Handling Crises. Cool versus Combative. When Barack Obama entered the White House in 2009, the country was facing a deep financial crisis. Banks were failing, people were losing jobs, and fear was spreading across the economy. Obama's response was calm and organized. He met with advisors, listened to experts, and passed a stimulus package to help save the economy. He spoke to the nation with careful words, asking Americans to stay strong and united. His goal was to rebuild trust. While some believed his actions were too slow, others praised his steady leadership. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't point fingers. He focused on working with others, including Republicans, to move the country forward. Donald Trump faced a completely different kind of crisis: the COVID-19 pandemic. The virus came fast and hit hard, killing thousands and shaking the world. Trump's reaction was very different from Obama's. He spoke with confidence, sometimes too much. At first, he downplayed the virus, saying it would go away soon. He argued with doctors, clashed with the media, and often gave confusing messages. He pushed to reopen the economy quickly, even while cases were rising. His goal was to protect jobs and show strength. Some admired his fight, but others said he didn't take the crisis seriously enough. His press briefings often turned into arguments, not comfort. The contrast between them was sharp. Obama believed in leading with science, teamwork, and patience. He built teams of experts and listened more than he spoke. Trump believed in leading with instinct, speed, and boldness. He often trusted his own words over expert advice. During natural disasters or mass shootings, Obama spoke with sorrow and unity, trying to bring comfort to victims. Trump, during similar moments, focused more on control, law and order, or blaming opponents. One led with empathy, the other with force. These styles affected how people felt during hard times, either safer and understood, or stronger and ready to fight. In times of crisis, a leader's true nature is revealed. Obama's calm voice helped many feel secure, even when the world felt uncertain. Trump's loud voice made many feel powerful, even when the future was unclear. Both faced criticism. Both had supporters who believed in them. But their actions during these dark chapters showed more than politics. They showed character. In pain and pressure, Obama chose calm leadership. Trump chose bold command. And the nation, divided between fear and anger, watched closely. Because in crisis, every word, every move, every moment matters. Chapter 6: Media Love and Media War. Barack Obama had a strong and mostly positive relationship with the media. From the beginning of his campaign, journalists were drawn to his calm nature, powerful speeches, and historic background. As the first black president, he made headlines around the world. News outlets often praised his intelligence, style, and communication skills. He held press conferences where he answered questions with patience and detail. Even when he was criticized, he remained respectful. Obama understood the power of media and used it carefully. His interviews were thoughtful, his messages were well planned, and his image was always polished. He didn't fight the press. He worked with them, and most reporters admired that. Donald Trump's relationship with the media was the opposite. From the very start of his campaign, he attacked the press. He called respected news organizations like CNN and the New York Times fake news. He even called the media the enemy of the people. Trump used Twitter as his main tool to speak directly to the public. He didn't trust reporters to tell his story. He told it himself. His tweets were short, emotional, and sometimes shocking. His supporters loved it. They said he was brave for standing up to the media, but critics said he was spreading confusion and hate. Trump didn't want friendship with the press. He wanted a fight, and he made sure the cameras kept rolling. Obama believed in controlling the message. He carefully chose his words and protected his image. He used traditional interviews, long speeches, and social media in a soft and positive way. He smiled often and avoided direct conflict. Trump believed in breaking the message. He didn't care if what he said caused anger or headlines. In fact, he wanted that. His wild press briefings, emotional tweets, and loud rallies became news stories themselves. He used chaos as a weapon. Obama stayed inside the lines. Trump colored outside them on purpose. This difference wasn't just in style. It showed how each man understood the power of communication in a modern world. Their relationship with the media shaped how people saw them. Obama was often viewed as presidential, careful, and wise. Trump was seen as unpredictable, raw, and strong. Obama's media image helped him gain respect worldwide. Trump's media battles helped him gain loyalty at home. One man played with words like music. The other used them like fire. And in a world filled with screens, videos, and breaking news, their media styles became just as important as their policies. Love or war. Both knew that in modern politics, the camera is always watching. Chapter 7. How the World Saw Them. When Barack Obama became president, the world watched with hope. His election was seen as a turning point in American history. Many countries, especially in Europe and Africa, celebrated his victory. People called him a symbol of progress and unity. He traveled around the world, meeting leaders with a calm smile and respectful tone. His speeches in foreign countries were full of peace and cooperation. When he spoke in Cairo, he talked about healing the divide between the West and the Muslim world. In Berlin, thousands came to hear him speak about freedom. He was seen as a global leader, someone who listened and cared about world issues. In contrast, Donald Trump was seen as a shock to the world order. When he became president, many countries didn't know what to expect. He talked about America first, meaning the U.S. would stop helping others and focus only on itself. He pulled America out of important global agreements like the Paris Climate Accord. He refused to follow usual diplomatic behavior. In meetings, he acted bold and sometimes rude. He praised leaders like Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin, which surprised many, while some admired his fearless attitude. Others feared he was breaking trust between the U.S. and its allies. World leaders struggled to deal with his unpredictability. Obama believed in global teamwork. He worked with other countries on climate change, nuclear deals, and peace efforts. He built friendships with European leaders and tried to ease tension with countries like Iran and Cuba. His careful words and international agreements made many feel America was a responsible power. Trump believed in strong deals. He treated countries like business partners, not friends. He wanted better trade agreements and didn't care about global feelings. If he thought a country was unfair, he said it openly. His sharp talk earned support from some who liked his strength, but it also made America seem distant and harsh to others. Both men left very different images in the minds of people across the globe. Obama was often seen as a gentleman, a thinker, and a bridge builder. His presence gave comfort and inspiration. Trump was seen as a warrior, a businessman, and a rule breaker. His presence caused headlines, arguments, and division. Some saw Obama as too soft. Others saw Trump as too rough. But both shaped how the world looked at the United States. One with a hand extended, the other with a fist raised. Their names are now symbols of two opposite ways to lead in a complex, connected world. Chapter 8. Scandals and Accusations. No presidency is perfect, and both Barack Obama and Donald Trump face their own share of scandals and strong accusations. For Obama, the major controversies were often about decisions made by his administration. One example was the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, where 4 Americans, including an ambassador, were killed. His critics said the administration didn't act fast enough and tried to hide the truth. Another scandal was about the IRS targeting conservative political groups. Obama said he was unaware, but the issue created doubt among many. Some also criticized him for using drone strikes overseas, which sometimes harmed innocent people. Though he faced backlash, he was never personally accused of illegal actions. Trump's time in office, however, was constantly filled with loud and dramatic scandals. One of the biggest was the Russia investigation. Intelligence agencies said Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help Trump win. A long investigation followed, led by Robert Mueller. Though it didn't prove Trump worked directly with Russia, it revealed lies, secret meetings, and questionable behavior. Then came the Ukraine scandal. Trump was accused of asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden, his future rival, in exchange for military aid. This led to his first impeachment in 2019. Though the Senate didn't remove him, the trial damaged his image globally. He became the third president in U.S. history to be impeached. Trump's second impeachment came after the storming of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. He was blamed for encouraging his supporters to fight against the election result, which he falsely claimed was stolen. The world watched in shock as chaos unfolded in the heart of American democracy. Even after leaving office, Trump faced multiple legal problems, including cases related to his business, handling of secret documents, and election interference. Unlike Obama, Trump's personal behavior, tweets, and speeches were often the center of controversy. From calling the media the enemy of the people to mocking world leaders, his words regularly caused public outrage and debate. Though Obama's presidency had its flaws, he was largely seen as careful, composed, and scandal-free on a personal level. Trump, in contrast, lived in constant controversy. His supporters believed the media was unfair to him, calling everything a witch hunt. His critics said he broke rules daily and damaged America's institutions. The difference between their scandals lies in how each man reacted. Obama often stayed quiet and calm, while Trump fought back with anger and bold words. In the end, their legacies carry both admiration and criticism, one with quiet shadows, the other with blazing fires that still burn in headlines today. Chapter 9. Legacy and Impact. Barack Obama's legacy is often described with words like hope, dignity, and change. As the first African-American president, he inspired millions around the world. His speeches were powerful, filled with calm wisdom and unity. The Affordable Care Act, often called Obamacare, gave health care to millions who couldn't afford it before. While the law had problems and faced criticism, it marked a major shift in how the U.S. approached health. He also helped bring America out of the Great Recession with slow but steady growth. In foreign policy, Obama led the mission that killed Osama bin Laden and signed the Iran nuclear deal. These were seen as big achievements by many, though not by all. At the same time, some said Obama didn't do enough to fix deep problems like police violence, rising inequality, or climate change. Others believed he was too soft in dealing with countries like Russia and Syria. Still, his personal behavior and respectful tone made him a trusted leader to many. After leaving office, Obama stayed active but quiet. He wrote books, supported young leaders, and let his time speak for itself. Many Americans still see him as a symbol of class, intelligence, and steady leadership, even those who disagreed with his policies. His impact was not just in laws, but in how people felt under his leadership. Donald Trump's legacy is loud, powerful, and deeply debated. His supporters see him as a fighter, someone who broke the political system to put America first. He lowered taxes, removed many government rules, and focused on jobs and business. His tough talk on China, support for gun rights, and strict immigration actions made him a hero to many conservatives. He appointed 3 Supreme Court justices, changing the court for years to come. Trump also made the U.S. Embassy move to Jerusalem, a big shift in Middle East policy. To his base, He was bold, brave, and unafraid to say what others wouldn't. But Trump's legacy is also marked by division and chaos. His words often fueled anger. His refusal to accept the 2020 election results shocked the world and shook trust in American democracy. Many believe he gave rise to dangerous conspiracy theories and extreme political violence. Even after leaving office, Trump's influence hasn't faded. His political movement, Make America Great Again, still holds major power. Yet, historians and voters remain split. Was he a strong voice for forgotten people or a threat to democratic values? Trump changed how politics is done, replacing calm speeches with wild rallies and quiet diplomacy with fiery tweets. The world is still trying to understand what his time truly means. Chapter 10. The Future of Their Rivalry. Even after leaving the White House, the rivalry between Donald Trump and Barack Obama continues to shape American politics. Obama has remained a quiet but powerful voice. He speaks rarely, but when he does, his words carry weight. He supports young Democratic leaders, encourages people to vote, and defends democratic values. In many ways, he acts like a guardian of the system. He doesn't fight with angry words, but with calm speeches and quiet influence. Behind the scenes, Obama is helping shape the next generation of leaders, those who believe in unity, progress, and careful governance. He believes America's strength comes from diversity and working together. Trump, on the other hand, is still very loud on the national stage. Even after losing the 2020 election, he refuses to accept defeat. His rallies continue to draw massive crowds, and his message of America First still has millions of followers. He has hinted at running for president again and remains the most powerful figure in the Republican Party. He speaks against the media, against immigration, and against global deals. Trump's style hasn't changed. It's bold, raw, and often controversial. To his supporters, he is the only one who can save the country from what they see as a broken system. His influence is not going away anytime soon. Their rivalry is not just about two men. It is about two different dreams for America. One vision sees the country as a global leader, built on alliances, fairness, and social care. The Obama way. The other sees it as a strong, independent force, focusing only on its own success. The Trump way. Their battle continues in every election, every debate, and every news headline. Even when they are not on the ballot, their names shape how people vote, what parties say, and how leaders act. It's as if their shadows are still standing behind the current politicians, guiding every move. Looking ahead, the question is, which path will America choose? The calm, reasoned leadership of Obama, or the bold, disruptive energy of Trump? Their ideas, their voices, and their supporters are still locked in a battle. The world is watching closely. Will the country follow the road of hope and healing, or the road of strength and nationalism? History will decide one day, but today the rivalry remains alive, not just between two former presidents, but inside the hearts of millions of people who see them as symbols of two very different Americas. Now you've seen two different worlds. Barack Obama's calm and careful leadership, Donald Trump's bold and unpredictable style. But here's the question. Whose way of speaking do you think is more powerful? And why? Was it Obama's hope-filled speeches? Or Trump's direct and fearless words? Tell us in the comments. Not just who you prefer, but which English expressions or phrases you liked the most in this video. This is your chance to practice, to speak, and to be heard, just like they were. We read every comment, and your voice matters here. And if you want more stories like this, to learn English from real lives, real emotions, and real history, subscribe to Glorious English and turn on the bell, because here, English isn't just a language, it's a journey.